seconds out.
New year, new start. Big opportunity for 24-year-old Megan Redstall. New face in the corner as well. The first full camp with Joe Hughes. Familiar face to boxing fans, former European champion, and she has revelled in I suppose, the recency of his own boxing experience. The brilliance of his boxing mind, she speaks of as well. And after her long-time trainer, Mark Kent, from the Contenders Gym in Melksham, decided to retire, she and Joe Hughes have been an obvious fit, and opportunities come knocking early on in the new year, Andy.
It certainly has. That was a good right hand that she threw there too. Made solid contact with Musanga. I remember commentating on Joe Hughes' European title win away in Italy. It was a great night. Somebody who you really enjoyed seeing do well. Had some good battles at British level as well, and achieved a lot, despite having one arm quite significantly shorter than the other.
Yeah, a remarkable story. Redstall, quite an incredible story herself. Not much publicised, but I spoke to her earlier on this week, and a little reluctantly she did speak of a time in her teens when she was in a wheelchair for 2 or 3 years. She had serious back problems, and courtesy of some pretty miraculous surgery, not only is she able to walk, do sport again, but actually fight, and here we are. So her own personal story is a remarkable one. She's a pretty remarkable character, to be honest. Basically juggling what was a full-time job as a paramedic and an ambulance driver. If ever you're having a long day and you think your life's pretty tough, you just reel off what it is that Redstall does day to day, week to week, juggling that job with being a fighter. That will give you Redstall. It's amazing how the rub of the green, or the luck of the play, but I mean, her fights have just fallen through. She's pretty much been in training since December 2024. She was supposed to fight Emma Dolan then. It was Laura Payne when you and I saw her in November. That fight fell through literally in fight week. Maisie Rose Courtney was supposed to be in tonight.
Corners, 10 seconds.
I mean, it's just remarkable how it's on unfolded, but thankfully for her, the show goes on.
Seconds
even
out.
tonight, her opponent
Round 2.
weighed in 8 pounds too heavy. So again, it could have fallen through. I think a bit of discretion from the British Boxing Board of Control have taken a look at the context of all of that and thought, well, maybe under normal circumstances they wouldn't say yes, but I think on this occasion, with Redstall and her team keen to go ahead with it, they were happy to sanction the bout. It could have been another one that got away from Redstall. So she will be determined to make this pay.
It's good that it's gone ahead, because that would have been possibly too much for somebody to take, to be honest. You outlined how resilient she is and how resilient she has been, but everybody has their limit, and at some point you just start to believe that the universe is against you a bit, and if you do just keep persevering, then you do not know what will happen. You mentioned Emma Dolan there. She's fighting on that big MVP card on Sky that I'm very much looking forward to on Easter Sunday, and you're not that far away from a really big stage, because the depth isn't the same currently as it is in men's boxing. You produce an eye-catching performance, people are looking. Yeah, and there's possibilities within a certain weight range. You've got Fran Hennessy, obviously unbeaten at the moment. You've got Shannon Courtney, who's back in the game as well. So loads of possibilities, and a title like this tonight suddenly opens all sorts of doors and puts a target on your back as well, and something desirable for other women to want to take fights, put their hands up for. That was a lovely uppercut inside there from Redstall. Just found the space and engineered to get the purchase on that shot. She has her last 2 camps gone down to working part-time, the ambulance service. That means just the 2 12 to 14-hour days a week in and amongst the boxing training. Slightly wild right hand there from Musanga at the end of that round.
Round 3.
Into round 3 then. This for the Commonwealth Bantamweight title. First real big opportunity of the career of Megan Redstall. Got a family here ringside to support her as well. Dad Neil, Grandad Chris here, Nana Carol all ringside tonight to lend their support. And apparently her mum Karen cannot bear to watch. I'm not sure she'll even be doing so back home on the telly. I think she's waiting for the result to be phoned through. Plenty of loved ones, Andy, in that particular state of mind.
It was interesting that, because she did end up kind of behind Musanga, but still managed to find a way to hit her fairly cleanly. So the referee just having a word with Musanga about turning her back with Redstall about the kind of punches she's looking to throw. But I don't think really she did anything wrong there midway through round 3.
Beautiful jab there, wasn't it? It really did snap the head of Musanga back. And again, whipping in those uppercuts. It's good. Musanga's keen to hold, make things a little uncomfortable, but she whipped in another uppercut. We saw that in a previous round.
Just feigning to go up with a jab and then goes down to the body. It's good, neat, tidy, well-organised stuff, this. There's the 1-2.
There's another uppercut. That was a kind of left hand in the sort of tangle and in the skirmish and in the exchanges. You're just trying to engineer and craft a shot out of all of that and managed to do so. Just slightly out of range with the jab there, but some eye-catching shots in this round from Redstall. Just starting to build a template for going forward. Standing up in between rounds.
Increasingly you see it, don't you? If you're feeling good, I think there's no particular harm in it. Is that physiologically, if you speak to a physio, they'll tell you it's better to get yourself sat down, get your legs stretched out, drop your arms down by your side. That's what they would always say.
Seconds out, round 4.
The into round 4, scheduled for 10. There's Sunday night fights on DAZN. Megan Redstall in the orange and black, going for the Commonwealth title. And that in itself, something great, but it's what it possibly sets up going forward as well. And again, managing to craft and engineer, create an opening from nothing there, just courtesy of the foot movement, the body angles, Redstall. And then clipped her with a left hand out of the exchange.
Just made the back pedal a bit there, that left hand. I don't think it really hurt Musanga, but certainly rocks her onto her heels.
Oh, that's lovely. Doubled up with the left hand. And again, she's punching in the clinch. She's really busy in those exchanges. Musanga's not necessarily offering up much, but she's trying to tie up and scramble and make things a little uncomfortable and untidy for Redstall. And he's denying her those opportunities in the clinch by punching with the uppercut and the quick hands.
And that's good to see, because as you say, that's exactly what Musanga wants to try and do, is see if she can just wrap her up and nick a bit of a rest and make things difficult for her, and she's just not really allowing it. Redstall
clipped her again, Andy, didn't she? She did 3 or 4 eye-catching shots there. The last one was a right hand. There's the double jab. She's starting to find her mojo here. Just starting to time Musanga. Starting to find the openings. I'm sure there's plenty of the Southwest Ambulance Service are going to be watching back home tonight. Hello to all of you, your colleagues doing you proud so far. Big smile for Redstall in that corner. Her partner Heidi Hodgson is in there as well. A few butterflies, but I think she can probably relax now that Redstall's working into this fight. Starting to build up a healthy leader, Fancy Andy, as well.
She's 4 up through 4 rounds. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Nice right hand into the body there from Redstall again as she closed in through the left hand, then right hand straight into the body.
Oh, that's lovely. Foot movement, creating the angles, and creating a bit of confusion in the mind of Musanga.
It's interesting that, because she threw the right hand, stepped with it, so ended up in the southpaw stance, and then threw the left hand into the body from the southpaw stance. I don't know if that was deliberate or whether that was just what happened. She felt her feet cross and just stuck with it. Either way, it worked well.
Again, the right hand, just a slight stutter backwards there from Musanga. She was caught square. She's been made to look a little awkward and cumbersome so far. Again, reaching as she's picked off with the jab. There's a lovely uppercut, gets in as well. The speed and timing, the rhythm of Redstall's posing plenty of problems now.
She's looking good here. She's found a really nice groove, a really good rhythm. She's full of confidence, but you don't feel like she's going to be too gung-ho or reckless in any way. She's just too good for her opponent. There's levels between these two, and she's showing it, which is exactly what you want in a fight like this, on a stage like this. She's showcasing herself, which is exactly what she needs to do.
And it makes you realise how good some of those potential fights can still be with some of the names that we mentioned. You know, in the past, a lot of pain, of course. It could have been Maisie Rose Courtney. It could have been Emma Dolan. It still could be, maybe, depending on the weights. So I'm told maybe Tia May Ayton in the summer could be a possibility. I think they might be in agreement on that.
It's a good division, isn't it? You look at bantamweight, super bantamweight, there's loads going on. All those names you mentioned, and then at that higher end, Hennessy is now in line for a crack at undisputed against Janika Johnson. Whether that happens or not, who knows? But because she'll have a load of mandatories. But either way, she's going to get the world title fight fairly soon. A weight up at super bantam. Ali Scotney goes for undisputed on that card I mentioned on April the 5th. So it's interesting watching the female pro because for a while there, the heat seemed to be super feather lightweight, super lightweight, and there's still a lot of good fighters around there as well. But
round 6.
You feel like between kind of bantamweight and lightweight, super lightweight at the minute, there's so much going on.
So much quality. And as she told me this week, Redstall, you know, we, the women, we fight as if we've got a point to prove. And it's true. So many of these fights with the women are so entertaining, and the depth of talent is getting better and better and better. We're going to see Lily Winch a bit later on as well. She's a real would-be star. And so far, Redstall putting on a bit of a performance tonight as we broach the halfway marker in this title fight.
I think something that's changing a little bit about it too is the overall vibe, if that's quite the right word. Up until this point, at the top end, Female fighters have generally all been very supportive of each other. There's been a real sisterhood to it. Outside of the ring, they all seem to get on. They celebrate each other's successes. But as it's kind of gone along, that's maybe changing a bit, and I think that's inevitable. And personally, I think it's good. You look at someone like Caroline Dubois, she does not want to be your friend. That much is obvious. Caressa Shields does not want to be your friend. Katie Taylor, in a totally different way, did not want to be your friend. You know, it gives a feel-good factor to the sport, and I think it brings new eyes to a sport, people who maybe wouldn't have connected with a sport like boxing before. But I think as everything just gets a bit more established, then you want rivalries, don't you? That's what you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think anyone who went to, say, the big Caressa Shields O2 bill a few years ago, Baumgardner and Mayer, anyone who went to that will tell you that it was a different audience, it was a different crowd, it was a really good atmosphere, dads could take their daughters. It was quite unique. So I know I'll be interested in the MVP card coming up, whether that's going to be at play as well, because the more new faces you can bring to any sport, the better it's going to be.
Absolutely, and it's an interesting argument too about the all-female card or the cards where you have male and female. And to showcase the sport, we've had some all-female cards, and that's been the reason for that. I don't think this is necessarily that. I think it's that MVP have done a number of them and have realised that if it's an all-female card, the numbers are good, that works, and maybe it does work better to have them on separate cards.
Corners,
maybe it works better than to mix them in. I mean, that's something that the marketers need to kind of pay attention to. But
seconds out, round
you mentioned
7.
Mayer. I think Mayer's great for the sport as well, but she's got plenty to say. So is Baumgartner, and there's I feel like it's really bubbling up. People have been talking about how it hit a little bit of a lull maybe, and you looked at Taylor and Serrano, they gave us 3 tremendous fights, but typically you don't have a trilogy when someone's 2-0 up. There wasn't much else going on, was there? But now I feel like we're right on the cusp of the whole thing exploding again, which is what you need.
Looks like Redstall's maybe trying to get behind that red right hand now as we go down the stretch in this one, having maybe built up a commanding lead. Maybe she feels she can be a bit more expansive. Let's see. Certainly a bit more devil behind the right hand at the start of the 7th round. Oh, that's a lovely jab. Lovely jab and movement and angle to create that. She drove it right through.
She's sticking to it, Musanga, here, isn't she, as best she can. But there's not much she can do with Redstall because she's just better than her in every area you can think of.
And again, she twists around. Musanga's not quick enough to correct herself on that. She is literally dancing rings around her Redstall here. And I think the important thing is, when you've got a class divide like we do have here tonight, is you don't invite the temptation to be scrappy and messy, and you've got to stay focused. That's the important thing now for the remainder of this fight. Be switched on. Everything's working so far. Again, punching in the clinch when Musanga's trying to deny her any real estate. Oh, lovely right hand. And it's a rather dejected saunter back to her corner, Musanga, who's on the thick end of a heavy defeat. Does Redstall need to do any more?
I don't think so. Like you said, I don't see the point of it necessarily. She could maybe try and up it in the final round. I wouldn't be surprised if Joju says in the final round, okay, let's maybe put our foot to the floor and see what we can do. But the only way this can go wrong for her now is if she gets careless and just walks onto something she doesn't really see. Other than that, the win is there for her, and she's waited such a long time for this. And it's not like she hasn't been good to watch. She's showing us plenty. Just keep doing this.
Corners,
Whatever happens,
10
happens.
seconds.
get the win and move on up that ladder.
Yeah, she's been classed tonight.
Seconds out. Round 8.
Big fan of Fury and Mayweather. Those are the kind of boxes that she likes. Hit, not get hit, essentially, is her motto. And although I've got to say, she's a brilliant talker. I had a half-hour conversation with her earlier this week, and she was tremendous company. But she says, really, away from the game, she'd be happy with a coffee and a game of chess. That's kind of her bag. Oh, lovely uppercut again. I think those punches in the exchanges have been quite impressive, haven't they? Because Musanga's trying to nullify her, and she's, even though she's been held, she's still managing to find enough space. There's another right hand gets through from Redstall.
And that's why she's had to soak some shots up here, Musanga, because her plan really was to try and spoil her way through this as much as she could, and Redstall just hasn't really allowed it. She was grabbing hold of her for dear life there, Musanga, really, and she still managed to thread the uppercut through.
Again, just too quick there, too elusive. Never really in any kind of punching range of sight for Musanga, who's clipped again with just fast hands. Too quick, too good.
I guess one thing you could say about Redstall, referring to what we were talking about between rounds, she landed that really nice combination there and then just stepped off, which in the context of what's happening here is the right thing to do, probably. But she could just go again, I guess.
Oh, there's a lovely one too.
Straight away again.
Yeah, box move is her thing. So try the unusual angles. I suppose there are times with someone like, you cut your cloth as a fighter, don't you, according to what's in front of you. There's maybe sometimes where she could actually stay in range, in position and go again because Musanga's there to be hit. But that's her, partly her style, isn't it? That's her flavour. She's winning in a canter. Absolute canter. She's been class. I expect all the family and friends, they'll have been breathing easy four or so rounds ago.
Yeah, I think so. They won't want her to do anything to make anybody nervous towards the end here, because you do see it, don't you? Things can be going absolutely perfect.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Everything changes. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. One punch can change everything.
Seconds out.
You've got to stay
Round
switched on. You
9.
have to stay focused.
And just looking up to Musanga in her corner, she's just got to tough it out. No, just tough it out.
Good use of the jab, just
flicking
really
it up
loose from the waist.
Really loose.
Explodes up into the eye line, makes it difficult to pick up.
Again, she's beating Musanga to the punch in those up-close exchanges. Oh, fast right hand again, getting through. Busier in the clinch. Another right hand gets through from Redstall. I must admit, if her mum Karen was going to watch any fight, this might have been the one to come and watch.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say this would give you the least palpitations of any of them, wouldn't it?
Again, just bamboozling Musanga, absolutely bamboozling her. Whipped round, and she still had the time to then just clip her with the left hand. There's a beautiful 1-2. It was so good, she goes again. And again, fast hands. He missed with the right hand, but came back with the left. And it will be intriguing to see the style of Redstall and the feet and the movement. Interesting to see how that matches up with better operators.
Yeah, absolutely.
10th and final round.
10th and final round then, a couple of minutes away from becoming a champion. Megan Redstall, she's been too good, too elusive as well. Musanga just hasn't been able to come to grips with her, hasn't been good enough to do so anyway. Tried to maul a few times up close, but even then, Redstall's been sort of too cute and out-punchering in the clinch. And there, clips her again with the right hand, then the left hook, and again. The accuracy's been absolutely terrific. She's hardly been able to miss tonight. And credit Musanga, she's trying to wing away with a minute to go. A couple of those little exchanges, you can see Redstall actually happy to hold her feet a little bit and buy a ticket in the exchanges up close.
Kind of for the first time there, Redstall just cooperating on the inside a little bit. Musanga got hold of her and she didn't try and shrug her off and get some punches off. Final 20 seconds, nice long right hand there from Redstall, who's won every round here, clearly. And Musanga's hung in there, hasn't she? She has hung in there.
Way too good tonight. Absolute class, Megan Redstall. And I think it will be a clean sweep on the cards on her way to becoming a champion. And I don't think they could have written the script any better. Joe Hughes hiding in that corner, I don't think they could have written it any better at all.
No, I think it's gone perfectly to plan. She was much, much better than her opponent, and when you saw this matchup, you knew that unless something disastrous happened, she was going to win this fight. That's the reality, and I think that probably would have played a part in the Border Control's decision to allow the fight to go ahead, because they would have recognised that Musanga wasn't necessarily a dangerous big banger in terms of her fighting style, and as we said at the start, it's good that they did let it go ahead, because she's had enough disappointment in her career up until this point, and this gets her a title now. It gets you a target on your back, and it'll lead to bigger fights for her, there's no question about that. So it's good to see, because as you said, she works very hard at this. She's had to keep the faith, and you can lose it quite easily sometimes, I think, when things don't go your way, but she's never let that happen, so it's a good performance.
And we mentioned the sort of growing depth and strength in the women's game. We've got Lily Winch coming up. I mentioned Shannon Courtney is sort of one of those fighters who's floating around as well, his potential would-be opponent. Shannon Courtney's actually over on the far side of the ring tonight, Andy. Maybe she's doing a spying mission herself on Redstall, who was class tonight. Let's be honest, she was up against an opponent who wasn't at her level, wasn't good enough to compete with her, but she totally dominated and outclassed her from start to finish. And we can see that Commonwealth title just being prepared, being ready to wrap around her waist. And after all the hardships, that intense training, the juggling, those 12 to 14 hour paramedic shifts alongside a normal boxing week, how they do it beyond the likes of you and I, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. All three judges scored about 100 to 90. And your winner and your new Women's Commonwealth Bantamweight Champion, Megan Redstall.
Redstall on top. Class tonight. And a big smile as she gets her hand on that prestigious belt. Maybe the first of many, but all the hard work, Andy, all the hardship, worth it, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big moment, the first title. Big moment, so rightly she needs to enjoy this. But inevitably, thoughts will start to turn quickly towards what could be next for her, because as we've been saying, bantamweight, super bantamweight, around there's a lot going on, isn't there? There's an awful lot going. I mean, she's big, isn't she, when you look at her physically, for the weight that she's fighting at?
In terms of weight progression?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I mean, bantamweight is 8 stone 6. It's not much, is it? Yeah, she's quite tall.
She's got a smile that can sell tickets and a backstory to go with it as well. Tremendous personality, and her journey, I think, is only just starting. She's with Ali.
Megan Redstall and the new Commonwealth Bantamweight champion. How does that sound?
Oh, it just sounds absolutely amazing. It's been a long time coming. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've finally got there. So this means more than any title I'll ever win, just because of how hard it took to get here.
Yeah, that wasn't the opponent you were expecting to face for this title. It's happened before, but you finally got that title. How did you stay focused in the build-up to this one?
I trained for a title, so I'm fighting for a title. No matter who it was in there, I was adamant I was winning. It would have been an absolute pleasure to share the ring with Maisie and Laura and Emma the time before, but whoever's in there, I'll give it my best shot, and tonight it was enough.
You are the champion now, so you must have your eye on others in the division. There's one sat ringside, Shannon Courtney over there. Who have you got your eye on for next?
Anyone, to be honest. Thing is, being a champion, you're going to box these really hard fights now, so I need to prepare the best I can, and anyone that's put there in front of me, I'll give all the respect as I would hope they would give me, and just have a good fight.
Final one before I let you go. A word to the supporters who have come out tonight and tuned in on DAZN.
I just want to say a massive thank you to my friends, my family, and my previous coach, Mark Kent, who's recently retired, for all of his hard work over the last 10 years, and obviously my new team, being with Joe Hughes. And last thing, happy birthday to the twins that are watching at home. They are absolutely buzzing to watch it, so just thank you to everyone.
Well done, finally champion.
Thank you very much. Woo!